Well, it's back to school time, which brings up a variety of issues, including some legal issues. Here's Andy Crouppen from Brown & Crouppen joining us to talk about safety and legal requirements as we send our kids happily back to school. Go back to school. Get out of here. It's good to see you again.
Likewise.
You know, we both learned something new in researching this. I had no idea that Missouri law does not require kids to go to school until they are 7?
Makes no sense. There are some archaic laws on the books.
That's one of them.
But this is, when I read that, it just makes no sense. You know, what you're doing is you're taking a child's whole life and pushing them back 2 years by keeping them out of school. What it seems to be is a law that the only purpose I can see is enabling parents who are neglectful of their children to begin with and just letting them wait 2 more years to put them in school.
So many of our laws are based on when we were all a farming community.
Right.
So that may be, we don't know why, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. You have to also stay in school, not until 18.
17.
17.
As long as you have the right amount of credits. I think you need 16 credits towards graduation to leave. But don't leave. Stay at least finish high school.
Stay. When we talk about safety, I remember when my oldest is now 14, but when we first put him in kindergarten, the school chased us down because I didn't turn in that, contact information card. Right. It's very important that you keep that stuff up to date.
Well, sure, you don't like to think anything would ever happen to your child at school, but if it does, you want to make sure you leave a contact phone number so that you're the one dealing with your child's emergency, not someone at a school who maybe doesn't even know your child very well, doesn't know the allergies it may have if your child needs medical treatment.
And that's keeping all that health information up to date as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to make sure that they have all the relevant health information. You know, you have a right to privacy. If there's stuff that you don't want to disclose that really isn't relevant to their school day, you can keep that private, but make sure they know enough if they have peanut allergies or asthma or anything that's important.
Or taking medication, absolutely.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about transportation. Missouri law requires schools to provide transportation to those who live 3.5 miles from school.
Right.
Now, automatically, some of you are thinking, didn't I hear that some schools are eliminating because of budget? Bus transportation?
Right. They're required to provide transportation if you live more than 3.5 miles. Some school districts provide transportation at their own expense to children who live closer than that. I think that's what probably most of them are eliminating because they get state funding for the people who live further away.
There are some school bus safety tips that we definitely need to keep in mind as we are sending our kids back to school. What would those be?
There are. I mean, there are a lot of things you can teach your children about how to behave on the bus. We could do a whole 1-hour special on that. But I think a lot of that, the bus driver will take care of. I think the more important things are what to teach your children about what to do immediately outside the bus. Don't walk right in front of the bus
because they can't see you.
Can't see at all. Take 10 steps away. Make sure that you're far enough away from the bus. You look both ways before crossing the street. And also important to know, to be aware of, if you're a driver and you see a school bus stopped, if you're on less than a 4-lane road and that school bus is stopped and has the stop sign coming out the side, it doesn't matter if you're traveling in the same direction or the opposite direction, you've got to stop. In a 4-lane road or more, you just have to stop if you're behind the school bus traveling in the same direction. But, these are little kids. Be extra careful if you see a school bus stop because it's hard to see them and they dart out from everywhere.
And if you live in suburbia and the bus is leaving when you are going to work, it's time for you to leave a little earlier.
Right.
So get ready for that. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Thank you very much. You might have a legal